In this video, I'm going to the age-old question of how do you get it up? Hey, it has happened to the best of us. Sometimes you had this fine-ass chick or whatever, your partner, and you can't even get it up. They'll even get mad at you. Sometimes they'll even tease you. How do you even deal with that? Well, number one, fuck them. Number two, let's fix it. So I'm going to go through this video. I'll give you a lot of tips and tricks, some medication, some things to look out for, and we're going to fix this together. It's going to be a very informative video. I'm going to go through some scientific studies. It's going to be very interesting. So let's get started. So first, I want to go through what is an erection, how does it work, what is the physiological and psychological process of getting an erection. So number one, it's a complicated process. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things that have to go right for you to get an erection. But hey, we've evolved this much to know exactly what's going on. So let's go one by one through the steps of how does it work, and then we'll focus on how to fix each one depending on what's wrong with you. So number one, you need to have the brain signals. So the way that the erection works is first your brain has to send signals to your penis, and to all the processes have to get started, but it all starts in your brain. So your brain sends signals dictated by androgen. So you need to have some good androgens, meaning that you need to have some high testosterone. You need to be able to feel this. And if you have, say, like a low testosterone, that's going to cause issues. There's a process called nitric oxide. So what this does is after your brain sends signals to your penis, it releases this thing called nitric oxide. And again, this is dictated by like androgens, the quality of your brain signals, and many other things. And what the nitric oxide does, it actually relaxes your smooth muscle. So there's smooth muscles. You have smooth muscles all over the body, but in this case, we're gonna focus on the penis. And so that basically relaxes the smooth muscles. And what this does, it allows blood flow to get into the penis. So you need to also have good blood flow. So blood flow is dictated by like the heart. The smooth muscle contraction is dictated by the nitric oxide and the brain signals. And so the smooth muscle basically relaxes, and this allows a blood to go into the penis. And once the smooth muscle basically relaxes, so when I say relaxes, it means like the smooth muscle starts to expand. And so when it starts to expand, it starts to trap the blood in the penis, and this is what causes the rigidity in the penis. And a lot of this is dictated also by the nerves in your penis and all around your penis. So there's signals that go from your brain, releases nitric oxide, which is dictated by your androgens, releases the nitric oxide, which relaxes the smooth muscles, allows the blood to flow into the penis. As the smooth muscles relax and expand, this traps the blood, and all of this is dictated by the nerves both in your penis and in your brain. So that's the process of an erection. Now, how does an erection go down? So essentially the smooth muscle starts to contract, so basically starts to shrink, and the blood, as it starts to shrink, the blood starts leaving the penis. There's actually an enzyme within the penis that tells the smooth muscles to start contracting, and that's called the PDE-5 enzyme. This is actually something relatively new that was discovered, somewhat recently. So thanks to science, we know that this is the enzyme that actually tells the penis to, hey, it starts, go ahead and start to go flaccid. So in a nutshell, that's basically the whole process of an erection going up and down. I've tried to simplify it as much as I can, because we're going to go one by one. How do we fix if any of these things is wrong with you? So why is it so important to get an erection? Well, number one, for your partner, right? Like, you have a partner, and sex is absolutely critical to having a good relationship with your partner, whether it be a man or a woman. No one's here to judge. And either way, I can imagine that it's very, very challenging if you cannot get it up, right? Sure, you can go ahead and please them with your fingers or with toys or whatever, but that's just, honestly, that's cope, right? There's a lot of ways that you can fix this. And so I don't want you guys to just cope. Like, I want you guys to actually fix it and be able to have sex with your partner. And if your partner is not helpful, if your partner is not supportive, and I've gone through this myself. Like, I've had partners that, like, when I was going through this myself, like, I actually injured my penis. I developed something called peyronie's. I had to go ahead and fix it, but they were not very helpful at all. And so what I do, I left them. So like, don't get stuck with a fucking partner. Just like, you're better than that. Like, don't be over here, oh no, I can't get a new partner. No, yes, you can. Like, especially like as a man, you can absolutely get a new partner. Whether it's someone that's here in the country, you can fucking travel abroad and like get a new partner that's like even better than most American broads. But even if you can't travel, there are so many good partners out here. And, from my point of view, like, there's so many good women out here. And so when I left my partner, because like she wasn't very supportive, she really, like, one of the things that really hurt me, honestly, like, she was like, oh, that's your problem, figure it out. And she would literally just not even help me navigate the the system. And honestly, yeah, I should have known better, but I thought she was my partner. I thought she was here to help me, but that wasn't the case. So take it from me, I've been there. And just fuck them. Go ahead and leave them. Like, if they're not good partners, then what's the whole point of having them, right? Regardless, I have kids myself, and I still left them. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Like, kids will get over it. Don't let this become a thing that they control you with. You can get better, and when you do get better, why get better for them? They didn't even help you. So you should get better and enjoy your life. So I'm going to go through this video on how to fix all these things. So I want to just touch on, how important it is to have a good partner. And if you have a good partner that's helpful, I've had girlfriends that are absolutely amazing, right? Like, it was just completely night and day. And so they were amazing, and I found that, and they helped me really, really get through this. And so it's really, really important to have a good partner. But it's also important to have a good erection, right? So that you can please your partner, you guys can have a good sex life, because sex is really intimate. And there's nothing like just being close together, having that penetration, regardless of your penis. It doesn't really matter. Like, it's just having that connection with that other partner that's really, really important. Secondly, you need erections for your penile health. Like, if you're not getting erections, let's say that your androgens are low, or you have some sort of issue that's not causing you to get like erections all the time, your penis is going to start to atrophy. And so there's basically studies on this, and this has been backed up by like penile implant surgeons. Basically, if you don't use it, you lose it. So over the time, if you're not getting erections, your penis is actually going to start to shorten, which is why I'm not a big fan of like the NoFap, because again, you need to use it, or otherwise you're going to lose it again. So let's go through like some of the things that can go wrong step by step, and then we'll go through how to fix them. So number one is psychological. As I mentioned, the first step of an erection starts with the brain, right? So you can have a lot of things that are wrong that can affect the entire process from the kickstart. So let's start with the first one, which is porn-induced erectile dysfunction. This is basically when you're just watching way too much porn, and you can have like this fine ass chick. And again, I'm gonna focus on girls because that's just my point of view, but it can be the same thing if you're gay, if you're, it doesn't really matter. It can be whatever turns you on, right? Whatever porn you're watching, just watching way too much of it. You have a partner in front of you, and you can be so attracted to them, but you cannot get an erection, right? This is called porn-induced erectile dysfunction. And the problem with this is that when you're watching a lot of porn, this fucks with your dopamine receptors, right? Because you're watching all this porn, and that gives you a lot of happiness in your brain. And then you can't even get an erection because your brain is so accustomed to getting that constant dopamine feed, right? Like, and our ancestors didn't have to go through this, right? Like, there was no porn, like, even back in my days, like, we didn't really even have porn like that we had to go through. We had to look at the Victoria's Secret catalogs, and even like the Sears catalogs, and stuff like that, to look at some hot ass chicks. And I remember masturbating to the Sears catalogs just to a girl that had just wearing a nice dress and stuff, and it was just hot, right? But nowadays, like, we have this porn just that we can just access it within our fingertips, like, at any point in time. This can really, really fuck with our brain. Like, we're just not used to that evolutionary. And so, the one thing that you can do this is basically just stop watching porn. Like, I'm not saying porn is bad, but too much of anything is bad, right? So just go through a small, like, and I absolutely hate this, but yeah, go through a little bit of NoFap, right? Like, get your brain off and stop watching porn. I used to masturbate literally like 10 times a day, and at some point you're just like shooting blanks, right? Like, this is imagine you're just masturbating like 10 times a day. Like, at that point, like, I wasn't even on any sort of medication. I didn't have any problems. I was literally, when I was like 18, I remember when I was like, maybe like 20, I had this girl that I had the biggest crush on for the longest time, butt ass naked in front of me with her fucking legs spread wide open, and I couldn't get it up because I had literally masturbated like 5 times that day, even more than that. And this was a huge problem. When I would see my girlfriend, I had to like force myself not to watch porn, and this was a big problem. Because if something happens spontaneously, I just basically couldn't get up, because like I was just so exhausted from masturbating so much, because you're shooting blanks at that point, essentially. And so number one, stop watching porn. I know it's hard. Stopping anything that you like is really hard, but at least cut it down. You should be masturbating no more than like 1-2 times a day, top 3 times a day. Tops, right? And I'm talking about like if you're like in your teenager, early 20s and stuff like that, the more you go, like, it's just gonna be more of a problem. So masturbate less. But don't get me wrong, masturbation is super, super important, which is why I don't really believe in no fap. I believe in less fap. Stop fapping so much, stop watching so much porn that it fucks with your dopamine receptor. It's fine, you know. If you have a girlfriend, ask her to make a little video of her, you know, like watch, you know, have her like suck your dick or something like that. Watch, you know, ask her to like record that and then just like, you know, watch that. It's just way healthier than watching some random girl doing some nasty ass shit that you're never gonna do in the real life. Like if you have a girlfriend, then just go watch that, and that way when you're with her again, she's just gonna turn you on that much. Great. Now don't stop fapping altogether, because again, if you don't lose it, you lose it. I'm just gonna keep repeating that. So, you know, masturbate like no more than like 1-2 times a day, but try to do it like every day, every other day. That's perfectly fine. But that's the first step. Just if you're overdoing it like I was, just stop doing it. You need help. And also keep in mind of the death grip. So that's also another problem that I've really had actually throughout my whole life. Even when I had kids, and I'm gonna go through get very intimate with this. It was very difficult for me to have kids because I couldn't ejaculate inside of my partner, because I couldn't come from that feeling alone, because I had a very specific grip that I did when I masturbated, and I couldn't come, you know, if I wasn't doing that grip. Second of all, if you have this death grip, like you're basically just like death gripping your penis, you can actually hurt yourself. So try to masturbate like if you can with just regular, with one hand. Don't try to have anything like very specific. But yeah, for me it was a big problem. And honestly, like the way that I ended up like having my kids is I had to like masturbate and then penetrate my partner as I was about to ejaculate to be able to conceive. Thankfully, you know, that it was able to work, but that's not ideal. Like that's not how our ancestors used to do things. And I was super young. I had absolutely no reason to do this. Like I had just grown up in the era of porn, and I was just so used to masturbating so much with a specific grip that I couldn't even come inside my partner. And you know, in a way it's good because you obviously want to please your partner. You want to go on for a long time. So edging is really, you know, not that bad. You don't want to be that minute man. You don't want to just like, as soon as you see a vagina, you just fucking ejaculate. But just be very careful in how you do this. So what I recommend is just have a normal grip, masturbate normally, masturbate no more than 1 or 2 times a day, and don't go too deep into the porn. If you can, just have your partner, you know, obviously ask her for, you know, to make a video with you, and then just watch that. And you know, I think that's way healthier than watching some random chick online. Another thing that I want to talk about are medications. So things like SSRIs are absolutely dangerous, right? And I'm not somebody that's against SSRIs. I take a lot of different medications myself. I don't take any sort of antidepressants or anything like that. I actually, I'm a big proponent, like you shouldn't take any antidepressants unless you're like suicidal. I think it's like way overprescribed. But I don't know your situation, right? I'm not going to tell you whether you should take it or not. But if you are taking it, then you know, just know that it can actually fuck with your dopamine receptors and can cause things like erectile dysfunction. These are things that are well known in the literature, and this has happened to a lot of well known people that like it just feels like, you know, there's the H2H3. He's over here saying that it feels like a block of wood.
I have depression. I'm medicated for that shit. 20 milligrams Lexapro every fucking day. My dick feels like a piece of wood. Like I have no sensation in my penis. Side effect. And I'm fat, by the way. Also a side effect.
Now, thankfully, I never experienced this, but I've had girls tell me this, like when they're like, oh, it's so hard for me to come even by myself because I'm taking this SSRIs and stuff like that. And so, you know, yeah, I think you should be absolutely careful with SSRIs. And there's other medications that you could take. Obviously, talk to your doctor. But maybe, you know, if you can, go on other medications that may be able to produce the same results, you know, on your happiness. But don't fuck with your dopamine receptors, and don't cause ED, and don't cause genital numbness, which is called. And this can happen to both men and women. And there's also all kinds of medications, but the two main ones that I want to talk about are SSRIs and hair loss medications. So hair loss medications actually something that I'm very intimate about, right? So I've been taking finasteride for, you know, about 4 years now. And I think I'd be lying if I would say that it didn't fuck with my libido, it didn't fuck with my ability to get erections, with my blood flow. Now, I think there's ways to mitigate that, because for me, I think hair is is very important for my happiness. So like, even though I don't take it as a rice, like I do things that keep me happy, even though they may be detrimental to my health. And one of those is finasteride. And so you have to be very careful. Now, again, I'm not telling you to stop taking it, or I'm not over here to scaremonger you. If anything, I'm going to give you workarounds that I did to fix these things, because even though I don't take SSRIs, I do take finasteride. So be very careful when you're taking these sort of medications, because they can fuck with your dopamine receptors and your libido. Which brings me to my next point. So what else can go wrong? And that is your libido. So your libido is essentially when you're aroused and you want to fuck. And as a guy, especially when you're a teenager, you want to fuck all the time. I would literally like just be watching the news and be watching like, especially Spanish news and some fine ass chick, and I would just want to fuck 24/7 when I was a teenager. And this is because your testosterone is really, really high when you're a teenager. So the number one thing, one of the most important things that dictates your libido is your testosterone, your androgen. So this can be your testosterone, and to a lesser extent your DHT and stuff like that, but mostly your testosterone. So if you have low testosterone, let's say that you took certain medications, there's other kinds of medications that can mess with your testosterone. I only focus on two, but there's anti-anxiety, all kinds of stuff that can really, really mess with your testosterone when you're a kid. And this can have some very detrimental effects. I know guys that are like, that took like medications, and they ended up being having like a shorter dick, and they ended up being short because they just didn't have high testosterone levels. And so that's why I'm not a big fan of kids medicating or teenagers medicating. I myself had a relative who was on antidepressants, and he hated being on antidepressants, and he would go on and off, and he hated the fact that his mom basically didn't know any better and like forced him to be on those antidepressants. He actually ended up hanging himself, which was really, really horrible, right? So if you're a parent, like I personally would never force my kids to take any sort of antidepressants. Never. Like when they're adults, they can take that, and I'm sorry, that's just my own personal opinion. You may hate me or whatever for it, but I would never ever either even bring it up, take them to a psychiatrist, psychologist. I'd be like, bitch, get snapped the fuck out of it, stop being a bitch, go over there. Because that's what my parents used to do. When I grew up, our parents used to just fucking spank me, like, fucking stop being a bitch, fucking get up, go do your shit, go fuck some bitches, whatever, and that's what, like, that's, so I'm not a big fan of like this coddling fucking type of society that we have nowadays, where we just like put the kids on all kinds of hormones and hormone blockers, like, kind of going on a tangent here, but like, you have kids over here that are like questioning their gender and stuff, and which is perfectly fine, right? Like you're an adult and you want to be a different, like, no one's saying anything, but if you're a kid and they put you on puberty blockers, right, and they say like, oh yeah, it doesn't have any sort of permanent effects, bullshit. Like those puberty blockers, if you're a guy, which is what I study mostly, is the men's anatomy, you basically have a micro penis, and it's so difficult. Like imagine like you grow up, you don't go through puberty, you have a micro penis, and then maybe they induce puberty, maybe you change your mind, and it's never going to be the same. And I've even had some trans friends who are like, oh, I wish my dick was bigger and all this stuff. And so like, even if you're trans, it doesn't mean that you don't want to have a big dick. Like, let that be something that they can deal with when they're adults. But when you're a kid, like, you're just not, you cannot have any sort of meaningful consent to knowing that you're going to have a small dick. And doctors is something that, that they don't tell you about. So just kind of a tangent. Like, I'm very non-PC when it comes to that, and love me or hate me for it, but that's just my opinion. And so again, other things like, something that I do have a lot of experience with is finasteride, and finasteride is known to lower your libido because it lowers your DHT. And despite of what they say, like, it seems that DHT has a lot to say when it comes to libido, and it's actually in the warning labels and all of that. And again, there's all kinds of medications that can fuck with your libido, but you can actually fix it. You can actually hack your system. You can biohack your system to increase your libido. So I'll go through that in a second. Okay, so we've gone through two very important things, which is the mind and the libido. But now let's go through actual physical things that can be wrong with you that may prevent you from getting an erection. So number one is your vascular health. So as I mentioned, you need good blood flow through your system to be able to pump blood into your penis. And one of the things that can stop that is being poor health, being obese, being fat, right? And so this can cause problems. So if you're not exercising, if you're fat, if you have diabetes, for example, And diabetes is especially dangerous because this causes fibrosis in your blood vessels. It causes them to constrict, and this can be very difficult to fix even with medication. But there's other things that you can do even if you have diabetes. But number one, stop being a fucking fat ass. Go and get yourself some fucking exercise. But number one is you need to get that vascular health up. From there, there's other things that can happen. So there's something called a venous leak. So a venous leak is basically when blood goes into your system, you have very good vascular health, but it's not able to trap it. And again, other things that can inhibit your vascular health are things like smoking. And I'm not one to talk, like I've smoked for a long time, you know, once like I'll even have some cigarettes when I'm drinking and stuff. Like it's really bad. But I'm well aware of that. But smoking is also really, really bad. But a venous leak is essentially when you have blood into the penis, the smooth muscle contracts, but it's not able to contract enough so that the blood does not hold. So the blood is basically escapes. This is a venous leak. Another thing that you can have is not producing enough nitric oxide. So as I mentioned, the brain sends signals to your body, and this produces something called nitric oxide, which is what kind of kickstarts the whole blood flow process. But if you're not producing that nitric oxide, that can basically give you ED. Another thing is if you fuck with your nerves, either I already mentioned like the nerves, your brain signals, but I'm talking about nerves in the penis. So one of the big reasons for this, for example, if you have like prostate cancer and they operate on you and you have like a prostatectomy, it's known to cause you ED. And when you have ED for a long time, your penis is going to shorten. So prostatectomy, you should absolutely be watching this video and like implementing the protocol, which I'm going to give, because if you have a prostatectomy, if you have prostate problems, you're absolutely going to get ED, which will absolutely cause shortening of the penis. You can also mess with your nerves when you have injury. So I think that was one of my problems, when I basically injured my dick. You can watch my other videos as to my personal story, but I basically was having rough anal sex. I injured my dick, and then from there I developed ED. So it took me a long time. The good thing is that nerves heal over time. But in the meantime, nerves basically heal. It takes about like a year, 2 years to heal. In a lot of cases, sometimes they don't heal at all. But in the meantime, you cannot go with having an erection. You need to implement some of the things that I'm going to talk about. And then there's other things that can happen to your penis. For example, you can develop fibrosis. So as I mentioned, diabetes can cause fibrosis. Injury to the penis can cause fibrosis. So if you injure your penis and you develop peyronie's, you can develop fibrosis, not just in the tunica, but in the corpus cavernosum, which is the chambers of the penis. And when you have fibrosis, it's even more difficult to get an erection. Other things that can cause fibrosis are things like priapism. So if you have like sickle cell anemia, or you have like an incident of a priapism, which is more like than 8 hours, then really cell death and fibrosis start to happen, you can develop fibrosis. But again, a lot of this is fixable through a lot of different things. So I basically give you a little bit of a rundown as to all the different things. Now I'm going to talk about the protocol and how to fix each individual things with different techniques. Okay, so first, how do you fix blood flow? Which is one of the physical things, and there's something that you can actually fix, right? Number one, stop being a fucking fat ass. Go ahead and exercise. Go do some cardio. Go lift some weights. Mostly cardio. Get on a diet. Try a low carb diet. This actually has been shown to actually reverse diabetes. So number one is you have to get lean. You have to do exercise. The rest don't even really fucking matter. Stop being fucking lazy and get your fucking fat ass on an exercise regimen. Number two, like I said, the fapping, right? Do not overdo the fapping. Do not overwatch porn. It's okay to do it, 1-2 times a day. Try to do a porn like with your girlfriend if you can get a girlfriend. If you can't, then just stop overdoing it. Like, don't do what I did, right? Like, don't do what and even, I was even fat too. Like, I'm not even saying I'm in the best condition, but I was way fatter and I worked on this. So I'm not even preaching something that I didn't do myself. Stop fapping. Do it less. I'm not saying no fap. No fap is worse, because if you do a no fap and you're not getting erections, it's going to atrophy. It's going to get short. So don't do no fap, do less fap. Okay? So next, let's talk into the actual supplements, things that you can take. Things are a little bit easier than just like exercising and and less fap. So number one, take some L-citrulline. So the benefits of L-citrulline is that it increases nitric oxide. So when you take it, it lasts for a few hours, But what it does, it actually kickstart your metabolism so that it creates nitric oxide, and it gives you better erections. Take 3,000 milligrams in the morning. Now the kind that I get, it's in a powder. I get it at GNC. I'll try to leave a link below. But essentially, you just go and buy it as a powder form. You put it in a cup of water. Take this in the mornings. Take 3,000 milligrams in the morning. And L-citrulline is much better than just taking something like L-arginine. So you may have heard of L-arginine, but L-citrulline is much more effective. So basically, the kidneys change L-citrulline to L-arginine better than if you were just taking L-arginine. And I'll link the studies to what proves actually this below. So you can actually mix L-citrulline with L-arginine, but personally I just take L-citrulline 3,000 milligrams a day, and that really helps me out. Now, it can be a little bit bitter. I've also heard some rumors that it can mess with your teeth. So I typically drink it through a straw, just so that it tries not to mess too much with my teeth. So just something like, that maybe bro science, but just take 3,000 milligrams of L-citrulline in the morning. Drink it through a straw. Do not just take L-arginine. You can do some research, maybe try combining with L-arginine, but I just recommend just L-citrulline. Next, we're going to talk about PDE-5 inhibitors. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, when your erection goes down, the way that it goes down, you get an erection, but then there's this enzyme called PDE-5, and this enzyme is what signals to your smooth muscles to start contracting, and start letting the blood out. A PDE-5 inhibitor essentially stops this process and blocks this enzyme. And the cool thing is that PDE-5 is only found in the penis, so it's not going to affect other aspects of your body. There's especially other medications, so I wouldn't worry too much about side effects. Now, just a bit of a caveat: things like Cialis can actually mess with the smooth muscle, like in your eyes. But I wouldn't overthink it. Like I've taken Cialis for a long time, and it's really not a big deal. So I don't want to dive too much into it, but I do want to mention it. But a PDE-5 inhibitor prevents a smooth muscle contraction. You do need a prescription, and I highly recommend Cialis or what's called tadalafil. So you can go to your doctor, you can go to like online clinic like Hims, or you can get it anywhere. And what I do is I use GoodRx to pay for it, and it's like really cheap. When I buy it, it's like maybe like $50, and it lasts me like 2 months. So it's really cheap. Now you can start with 2.5, 5, or 10 milligrams daily. I personally take 10 milligrams daily, and this actually was recommended by my doctor. But you depending on the severity of your dysfunction, you can take 2.5, 5, or 10, and then you can add 20 or even 40 milligrams before sex. And you have to time it, unfortunately you have to time it about 1 or 2 hours before sex. And even this, I found gives me really good erections, like all the time. Like, when I have a girlfriend and I'm comfortable with her, like this is all I need, and I'm very good with it. With the, in addition to the L-citrulline, I do not really recommend Viagra, because Viagra does not stay in your system, and it's important for you to get, nighttime erections and daytime erections. So I recommend that if you're not having sex that day, take it before you go to bed, and that way when you go to bed, you're gonna have the nighttime erections. And there's other things that you can take, like there's Viagra, there's like Libido and other stuff, but I would highly recommend Cialis, because again, it just stays in your system longer and allows you to get spontaneous erections, which is much better than like Viagra, which is more like on-demand erections. And getting spontaneous erections and continuous erections is very important for penile health. Check your hormones. This is absolutely key. This can fuck with your libido. So get your hormones checked. Go to your doctor. Let's say if you're having erectile function issues, go to your doctor and get your hormones checked, specifically your testosterone levels. And if they're low, and trust me, they have a very low threshold of what they consider low, right? So I've seen one of my acquaintances, he's like 19, and his testosterone level was like at 300, and they say that's normal. That's absolutely not normal. Okay, so do your research based on your age bracket. If you're 19, your testosterone level should be like 700 at least, if not more. And so don't just go by like, oh, this is what's acceptable. Like look for a doctor, find a clinic, even online clinics that will recognize that you have low testosterone, because 300 is absolutely low. Okay. And you can start with something called TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy. Now, there's a lot of pros and cons with using TRT. I'm going to have other videos about it, but I think it's absolutely critical if you want to get that libido out. One caveat though is that it may increase hair loss, because the more testosterone that you have, the more it'll get converted to DHT, the more it'll accelerate hair loss. But you can do things to mitigate that. Like if you take finasteride, you can do TRT relatively safely, but just make sure you get your hormone levels checked. And absolutely, I would highly recommend TRT if your hormones are anywhere below the standard. And I'm not even saying the standard based on current medical standards, but I'm saying the standards based on what other men in your age bracket actually have. Okay, next, I want to talk about a vacuum erection device, or VED. Okay, a vacuum erection device are absolutely, for lack of a better word, they're pretty fucking cool. Okay, number one, they improve penile health. And again, I'm gonna link all the studies. This is scientifically proven that VEDs improve penile health. And if you do something like pulse pumping, which if you get like an electronic pump, and I have recommendations for all of that, I have other videos on that, you can actually mimic nighttime erections. So when you have a nighttime, you actually get about 10 to 20 erections in a short period of time while you're sleeping. But if you're not getting those, you're not getting that blood flow to the penis, and you're not getting that oxygenated blood. And so with a vacuum erection device, you can actually mimic this. And with pulse pumping, you can actually improve your penile health. It also reverses fibrosis, and again, proven by the literature. So if you have any sort of fibrosis based on, like, say you have you had diabetes, or you have priapisms or whatever, it actually reverses fibrosis. And also, if you're not getting erections for a long time and your penis starts to atrophy, the VED can actually reverse the atrophy and prevent the atrophy. So let's say that you end up getting something I'll touch on, which is like a penile implant, because you're not getting erections for a long time. You absolutely need to be using a vacuum erection device. Another benefit is that it promotes angiogenesis. So basically, it promotes the creation of new blood vessels when you're doing this. So when you're doing the pumping, it actually creates new blood vessels, and this improves the blood flow to the penis. And then let's say that you're having problems, like, you cannot get it up. You can actually use a vacuum erection device to induce an erection. You're absolutely flat, so it'll get an erection. You put a cock ring on, and the special vacuum erection devices, which I'll touch on in other videos, that you can use to get an erection and keep an erection by using the cock ring. So a vacuum erection device just is absolutely helpful. Watch my other videos on how to use a vacuum erection device, and you should absolutely be implementing this. Now, if you're using medications such as an SSRI or finasteride, I absolutely recommend that you use a vacuum erection device, so that you're not losing those nighttime or daytime erections, and that you're getting blood to the penis. And over time, you actually make your penis thicker and slightly longer. So it's one of the other benefits of using a vacuum erection device. Okay, next I want to touch on something that's optional, but it's another kind of medication that you can take, and that's called Pentoxifylline. And again, this is optional, but Pentoxifylline has actually been known to reverse calcification and prevent calcification. It's one of the first line therapies that has been proven to marginally work for Peyronie's, but it's known to work because it reverses calcification. So even the reason that it doesn't really work in Peyronie's a lot of the time is because that has like scar tissue in the tunica, which is outside of the corpus cavernosa, which is outside of the chambers. But if you have fibrosis in the chambers or in the blood vessels, Pentoxifylline can actually reverse that fibrosis. It's actually been shown by the literature. It also improves blood flow to small blood vessels. So you can use a VED to create more small blood vessels, and Pentoxifylline to actually improve the blood flow to those blood vessels. So it's kind of a little bit of a hack, but it's something you can add. You do need a prescription to this. Now, I personally add this to my DMSO recipe, which is going to be a whole nother topic on itself. But yeah, I think it's something option that you can take. It's called Pentoxifylline. Now, let's say that none of this stuff is helping, right? Like maybe you have Peyronie's, maybe you have some diabetes. Like PDE-5 inhibitors are actually shown to only work in about 50% of men that have diabetes. You already lost some weight, so you're no longer a fat ass. Congratulations. But it's still not fucking working. It's still not getting up. Okay? So now we go to the fucking next level. Okay? And we're going to talk about PGE1 and trimix injections. So PGE1 and trimix injections have actually been shown to rehabilitate the penis. Again, proven by the literature. I'm not just talking out of my ass. It actually has been shown even better than a vacuum erection device. I recommend actually using both. I recommend stacking all this stuff together. Stack everything: cardio, PDE-5 inhibitors, a VED, And then on top of that, PGE1 and trimix injections. Now, personally, I recommend just pure PGE1 because PGE1 has been shown to not have as much, does not cause as much as fibrosis as trimix can potentially cause. But if you're using a VED, it really shouldn't be a big deal. You can also actually add traction, which is something that I touched about. But traction is not really going to go improve your erections. It's just going to prevent fibrosis and it's going to stretch your penis and make it bigger. But I have plenty of other videos about traction. With PGE1 and trimix injections, you're basically guaranteed a hard erection 90% of the time for most men. Okay, it guarantees a hard erection. Stop being fucking scared of a little needle. I know I get a lot of questions. Oh, can I get some topical PGE1? Can I just take a supplement that increases? No, stop being fucking scared. It's really not that big of a deal. It's really not that big of a deal. It's not that hard. It's a little needle. It's so small. You just feel a little prick and you have a fucking hard erection. You can fuck the shit out of your fucking partner and shut them the fuck up, never to fucking talk shit again. Okay. Or just like, you know, if you left your partner like I did, just fucking go ahead and fuck. Like, you know, enjoy the fact that now you fix your erections. You can fuck and you can fuck for a long time. And PGE1 and trimix injections give you erections regardless of any sort of psychological issues. And porn stars use it. So porn stars already use this, and you know, you watch porn all the time. And more than half of these fucking porn stars use trimix injections to fuck all these fucking chicks all the fucking time. So go ahead and I think trimix injections and PGE1 injections are absolutely amazing, and they can rehabilitate the penis. And I actually, the way that my penis got better, where I only really need nowadays, I can have sex with just like Cialis and stuff, is because I do injection therapy, and that rehabilitated the penis and actually made it girthier over time. I absolutely recommend injections. Now, talk to your doctor about this and basically like just tell them like, hey, you know, you can get this at a men's health clinic. You need a prescription for this. There's actually a place you can get online, but I'm not gonna recommend anything like that. I have a prescription, and basically you just tell your doctor, which is the truth. Like, I'm not saying lie, but Cialis is not working. I don't want to use a VED, but at the same time, I don't want a fucking implant, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So they're going to prescribe to you PGE1 or trimix injections. If they prescribe trimix, you can say like, I want to start with PGE1 because the literature said that it causes less fibrosis, and they can start with PGE1. If you want, from there, you can move on to trimix. But basically just tell your doctor that Cialis is just not cutting it, and I need something that guarantees me an erection, and they're going to give you a prescription. Now, do not use Caberjet. Caberjet is fucking expensive. There is no fucking point in using it. Like, there is no point in using Caberjet. It's just too expensive. The only advantage is that you can keep it not refrigerated, but who gives a fuck? Use a monomix compound. And there's several pharmacies in the country. I'm from the US that you can get it from, and it's way cheaper. One injection of Caberjet is going to cost like $120, whereas about 12 injections of a monomix compound that you can take from that you can get from a compounding pharmacy is going to cost the exact same price. So when I say like don't get scared by the price, it's very cheap. That costs you you know, way cheaper. And if you're looking at trimix, it's even cheaper. Okay, so you can get this from a compounding pharmacies, and cost really shouldn't be an issue. Okay, let's say if you've gone through all that, you know, you tried injections, or maybe you're just too scared, like if they work for you but you're still kind of scared, or if they don't work for you, which I think is the actual only ever reason to ever do this, you can get a penile implant. Okay, and a penile implant basically guarantees you an erection. And I'm gonna have more videos about penile implants. I did a ton of research myself, so I'm very well versed on them, and I'll have tons of videos on them. But number one, if you're looking to get a penile implant, number one, you need to do traction and a VED before you do it. So do some fucking traction, get that penis as long as you possibly can. Okay, get that tight, and like there's different models. And again, you know, check out this. First of all, subscribe so you can see the other videos, and put those notifications on, so when I have more videos about penile implants. But basically you can get implants that are like, you know, long, and there's different sizes of implants. But if you're not doing traction and you're not getting erections, your dick is gonna shorten and you're gonna get a small implant. Okay, so make sure you're doing traction and a VED. And when you get an implant, you never have to worry about an erection again. You just like fucking pump it. You basically like pump your balls, and it's actually fairly discreet. There's tons of guys that have this. There's actually some porn stars, and again, there's gonna be videos about this. Porn stars actually have penile implants. It's really not that big of a deal. Now there's two key things. Number one, do traction. Number two, use a VED. And actually, bonus thing, number three, you need to get a good surgeon, a top of the line surgeon. Go and travel to the best doctors in the world. I'm gonna have videos on this, or hit me out. What are the best doctors in the world? Okay, and they do an amazing job where you're almost pretty much guarantee you're not going to lose length. And if you do traction at VED, you're absolutely not going to lose length. If anything, you're going to have a longer penis that you even had before when you had normal natural erections. Okay, so there's a lot more to come, so make sure you subscribe and check out all my videos that are coming up about penile implants, because there's a whole lot of literature about this and a whole lot of things that are absolutely critical to getting a good penile implant and good results from a penile implant. And there you go. Did I miss anything? Is there something that I missed that you think is absolutely critical? Supplements, vitamins, whatever it is that I missed, go ahead and make sure you comment below, and I'll make a video on it and, you know, do the research. I poured my heart out for this one because it is something that I'm absolutely very intimate with, something that I dealt with. It literally cost me my divorce, but because I chose to leave them because they were not helpful, and now I'm living like the best fucking sex life of my life. And I found that, you know, the partners are absolutely key and critical to help you get through this. You know, I went through this protocol. I'm very happy now. You know, as I mentioned, nowadays I just take some Cialis and I, you know, with VD and L-citrulline. But I know if I ever need an implant, I know exactly what to do. Stay tuned for more videos on all these different topics, specifically on injections, penile implants, and DMSO. And if you feel like I missed something, go ahead and comment below. And make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. I even have a Cash App if you want to throw a couple dollars my way. And make sure you check out these other videos which are relevant to you. And again, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content. See you next time. Peace.